Go live. All right, we're live on YouTube. Hello and welcome to another Work in Progress Wednesday stream. I am Modern Synthesis, otherwise known as Mr. Pink. I am joined tonight by my erstwhile co-hosts, Kajan. Want to say hello, Kajan?
Hi.
And TacticalDbag, otherwise known as Will.
Hello.
Oh, now we're getting infinite regress. Hi guys, welcome. Thanks for joining me on this Work in Progress Wednesday stream. And we've got some big news came out this week in the battle for Ogrim, where everyone thought that Tyranids were going to smash Space Marines were going to smash Tyranids because Games Workshop was going to give them some Dumbledore points. We were shocked to discover that no, Tyranids won. So let's have a hell yeah for the Tyranid victory in the battle for Ogrim. That was good news.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Yay.
Yeah, and I was thinking because we did the Creature Conference stream on Saturday. We rescheduled it to coincide with the Battle of Ogrim preview. So I heard what Marco thought of this stuff, and I heard what Flynn thought of this stuff. But I really wanted to hear what you guys thought of this stuff. So maybe that's how we'll start this evening. Although before we start, we should probably do the thing that I never remember to do, which is as this is what used to be called the North American stream, and now it's called the Work in Progress Wednesday stream, it usually comes to everyone from Rick Priestley's palatial cottage in North America. So, Will, what part of Rick Priestley's cottage, North American cottage, are we coming to people from this evening?
The butler's pantry.
The butler's pantry. Okay, and what are you seeing in that butler's pantry? What kind of stuff does Rick Priestley's butler store in his pantry?
Oh, Marmite?
I dig. Marmite. That's a good choice. I like that. All right, we're coming to you live from Rick Priestley's butler's pantry with lots of Marmite. Wait, is Marmite British? It is British, right? Vegemite. Isn't that the Australian thing?
Yeah, Vegemite's the Aussie one.
Where are Australians at? I guess they're not here right now, but maybe Brett will join us later. Or that's no, wait, Brett's here. Brett's one of our token Australians. Hey, Brett, welcome. All right. Yes, and also welcome everyone in the chat. I see Tarath. I see Diana, Symbio Joe, Mother Reaper. Ooh, Avaret 47. I don't know if Avaret 47 is new.
No,
we may have seen Avaret 47 once before.
That's my buddy Andrew. So I got convinced him to join in and join the fun.
Not Andrew. Ironbeak Andrew.
No, we got a lot of Andrews just generally in the hobby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew. Welcome. We got Dan Kaplinger here. That's awesome. Good to see you, Dan. Ghost. I don't remember seeing Ghost before. Dwarfenage. Good to see you. Welcome. Eric Christensen's here, otherwise known as Metal Beardy Beard. Welcome, Metal Beardy Beard. And who else we got? I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Mother Reaper?
If anyone else is here, please comment in the chats. Mother Reaper, I think I said hello. Happy Biomass Day. Is that referring to the Tyranids, or is it someone's birthday? Oh, I like the Dwarfenage said the Battle of Ogrim should be renamed the Feast of Ogrim. Listen, I named it the Feast of Ogrim before we even knew that we were going to win. So we're already on top of that. That's all good. Because yes, it was definitely a feast for the Tyranids. Which, like, I don't know, man. Not going to lie. I was shocked. Will, how did you feel when you heard that they actually let the Tyranids win?
Oh, I 100% was expecting, like, oh, the Tyranids, we're leading, and then, last minute, McCrag, whatever, and then, that kind of BS, but, yeah, they just straight up, I mean, unless, they had the double blind, and they actually were hoping that, they could just release the Tyranid stuff, but...
Could be. Kajan, how did you feel when you found out that the Tyranids actually won?
I was very surprised. I didn't believe they would be doing that.
Yep.
I mean, I already hinted at it at the last work in progress because Games Workshop is known to change outcomes to things they want. So I was
So you
pro-
say that. Is there actually any proof of that, or is that just hearsay in the community?
there was the big thing with the orc
Media.
victory, the orc victory, where they then said no, we wouldn't be doing that, and because it didn't fit them. I think they. I mean, as far as I know, there were at least two of them where
Okay.
they had
All right.
some tournament outcomes that should decide the story moving forward, and then didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad that that didn't happen this time, because this is fantastic. I'm going to say it's because the Tyranid community made a big push in the final week to... Tyranid community made a final push in the final week to get all those results in. But I was chatting with Hydra about this. He didn't get to join our stream on Saturday. And I'll be getting his thoughts on the new Tyranids at the Creature Conference in 2 weeks' time, week and a half's time. But he said that what probably happened was that the Tyranid people were way more engaged, and Space Marine players just don't care. I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. That's
What
probably
about
accurate.
all the extra lieutenant models that they could possibly have?
Listen, that one Phobos dude, he's okay. He can live. I will allow the Phobos guy to survive, because he's packing some cute Tyranid armor. I may have one of those that I have some dastardly plans for, because my buddy who I split the box with was very generous and gave me not only a Phobos lieutenant, but one Space Marine Terminator to do with as I please.
Ooh.
Which these things are like gold, man. Like everyone wants the Terminators. They're the things that have no trouble selling when people are trying to like split box their Leviathan. So I really appreciate that. And the Phobos Lieutenant. So they're gonna be doing some interesting things soon. We shall see. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm
Yeah, so we
buying-
were all pretty. Go ahead.
I was planning on buying a full Leviathan set for myself, and then like after like waiting a couple weeks, I'm like, you know what? No, actually, no, really, I just want those Terminators, and I don't really need any of those other Marines.
Listen, I'm with you there. I hate Marines. I tell people I hate Space Marines. They're like, what the hell? You hate Space Marines, but you have a Terminator. Terminators are not Space Marines. They're Terminators. I've always loved the old school Terminators. I wanted the Gravis armor to be more Terminator-y. It was not. I'm happy that we got big chunky Terminator boys. I may be weak and give in to some chunky Terminator boys at some point. We shall see. This is getting annoying. There we go. That feels more now. In terms of what I'm working on while we're chatting, I'm working on these dudes, which were, if you look closely, in the background of my post about conversions to Von Ryan's Leapers. These are Neuro Guards. So these are like, you know, we got Neuro Tyrants, you know, we got Neuro Gaunts, you know, we got a Neuro Lictor. These are Neuro Guards. I think I've kind of mentioned them on stream before, but yeah, I really want to get these done. That's what I'm hacking away at here. Although I could build a third one. Oh, I don't know. What are you guys working on? If you're working on anything, I know Kajan can't work on much because I've asked him to show us the pictures from the weekend. But if you were working, Kajan, what would you be working on right now?
I would be working on the base for the Screamer Killer, and still working on that. As I mentioned on the Discord, that some storm damage in the yard, so I didn't get to do much hobbying.
Has it cooled down yet? You were saying it was also really hot, so that's not good conditions for.
It has cooled down, but it's still hot.
Okay.
Earlier we talked about Bill and me briefly talked about it, and it's like 2 a.m. and it's still in 80 degrees Fahrenheit here, so yeah, it's hot.
Fahrenheit? I thought you guys did Celsius.
Yeah, we do Celsius, but this is another American stream, and I don't.
Oh, please! I'm Canadian. I'm Canadian. I'm in charge. I don't speak Fahrenheit. Sorry, Will.
Hey, don't apologize on my regard.
What's it
that in Celsius? Is that like 25?
27.
27. Okay. Wow, that's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Geez. Okay, well I hope it So you did manage to get it done, even though it was super hot?
Yeah, starting in the morning and like
Yes.
6 a.m. and the doing the silent stuff, and then 8 a.m. you can go loud.
Yeah. Wow, that's super hot. It hasn't been that bad here lately. It's been warm with the sun, but it hasn't been that humid, and it's the humidity that kills me. So I feel very fortunate.
Yeah, we have also high humidity because of the storms. Don't know if people know about it. In Italy, they have that heat wave, so we are getting frequent storms over here now because we are like at the edge of it.
Yeah.
So it's raining like every other day, or almost daily. Usually in the morning hours, it's raining a little bit, just enough
Yeah.
to keep the sauna going.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yay.
Sorry you're dealing with that, buddy.
Yeah, it's summer. I'm getting used to it.
And when you say
Or-
you're working on the Screamer Killer base, that's for your own Screamer Killer that you sculpted,
yeah,
right? Not
it's my
the
own
Leviathan one?
No, it's not a Leviathan one.
Yeah.
I've decided not to get the Leviathan box after the reveal of the last weekend.
Oh, you're going to hold it for the new stuff?
Yeah, totally. I saw the new stuff and I was like, I don't think I want the Leviathan stuff.
Okay, well, I guess we should get to that very soon. But before we do that, Will, what are you working on, or what did you want to work on, or tell us what's on your hobby table this week?
I'm kind of working on a bunch of little things. I got a bit of putty going on, and I'm working on my psychophage, like reshape, and my retrofying screamer killer, as well as my little lictor sniper thing that I've been working on lately.
Yeah, you posted the Lictor sniper thing in the Discord. That's looking really good, man.
Yeah, pretty happy with how it's coming along. Just gotta keep chugging.
Nice. Yeah, Will is making a sniper lictor. Are you going to post that in your stories or something on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm
So other
probably
folks can see it?
I'll probably post it up tonight whenever I'm done with whatever I'm doing for this evening. But
Yeah, make sure you're following Will on Instagram. TacticalDbag. What is there an underscore? What is?
that's a
Can
really
someone put
good
it in the
question.
chat? Can someone put a link to Will's Instagram in the chat, Kajan, if you're able? Well, I guess you've got your screen shared. I don't know.
I
No,
can literally never.
I moved
Single
the
word,
screen.
no space, no no space, no symbols or
No
anything.
fancy characters.
No.
Okay, well there you go.
Apparently.
Look up TacticalDbag on Instagram. The dead giveaway is that Will's icon on Instagram is the same as his little avatar here in the chat, the red and black one. Which is that from Bleach? Is that from Berserk?
Oh, that's
I get
from
them
Berserk.
confused. Okay.
That's a North rune, right?
Sort of a fake Norse rune, I guess. It's not quite like a real Norse rune, but
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I wish I'd been doing more hobby this week than I have been. That's often the case with me. But last night I was doing some painting, and this evening I'm happy to be doing some sculpting. What I need to be doing is some video editing, but it's really hard to edit video when there's cool models to work on. I do not love video editing as much as working on models, so it's a drag. And the models are like a siren call. And Tom Wilson made a really awesome joke in the comments, asking if I'm working on my Stone Crusher Carnifex, which is the Great Red Dragon that I'm working on for DarthBob. I was tempted to get that out again and start working on it again. I started working on the base on the weekend because it came up on Reddit. Someone posted a picture of the concept art that that DarthBob and I commissioned from Roberto Cirillo, the famous concept artist from the 4th edition Tyranid Codex, I believe. We've all loved his stuff for years, and famously, our own Symbio Joe once tried to commission Roberto Cirillo to do sketches for the Warp Shadow community. This was way back in the day, but this was before like Kickstarter or anything like that. So it didn't get off the ground, and Symbio Joe was like, hey guys, we could all like contribute our money together and pool it and get this guy to do concept sketches. And we're like, wow, this sounds like a multi-level marketing scheme, but really Symbio Joe just invented Kickstarter before Kickstarter was a thing. But unfortunately, none of us got on board. So yeah, fast forward to 2021, something like that. Inspired by Symbio Joe, I reached out to Roberto and I was like, hey Roberto, could we hire you to do some concept sketches for the revitalized Warp Shadow community over on Instagram? And he's like, no, but I will do them for you for free, because he's I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Anyway, he was very generous to do these sketches for the Warp Shadow community on Instagram. And yeah, from that, I was like, well, maybe I can like actually commission this guy to do something. So when DarthBob and I were talking about this commission that I was going to do for him, make him a big beefy Carnifex, I was like, hey, you love collecting Tyranid art and original concept sketches. How cool would it be if you had a original concept sketch from Roberto for your own creature? So we talked to him and he was open to it, and we paid the man, and he did a really cool sketch that I guess it showed up in the video that Eric's Hobby Workshop did for the Screamer Killer build that I did in collaboration with him. And someone like screenshotted that, posted it up on Reddit, and was like, hey guys, what is this? Is this a concept for like a new Stone Crusher? And the guy who posted it like was like, oh, I got this from Modern Synthesis video or something. I'm like, dude, like, why don't you ask me? So anyway, that happened on Reddit, and that's the Stone Crusher Carnifex / Tyrant Guard that Tom Wilson's referring to, that I will get back to soon, Tom. I need to get some Leviathan stuff off my plate first before I get back to that. So that's why I'm not working on that guy this evening. Although I have him here if people want to see him. He hasn't progressed very far from when I was last working on him. But I'm kicking myself for not having finished him sooner, because Games Workshop's starting to put tails or tentacles on Tyranids' backs rather than where their tails should be. And we came up with that idea a long time ago, like 2 years ago. Whereas when Games Workshop does it, they put a tentacle up here, and then they also put a tail down here. So we had the idea of shifting the tail up higher, not having it down here at all, to just kind of like raise the center of gravity of the model. In my head, it's more like a Tyrannosaurus. I know it doesn't work exactly like that. Like the Tyrannosaurus's head and tail is kind of like in an angle, and there's like a little bit of a bone that comes down where its hip is. So inspired a bit by that, inspired by the really cool monster in one of the first episodes of Love, Death, and Robots. There's that cool thing where they put their brains into these monsters and they fight. There's a really cool monster that has like a back tail there. There's those weird cat things in Final Fantasy VII that you fight at the beginning that have like tails on their backs. I think Mewtwo has a tail on his back. So I don't know where I ripped it off from, but I ripped it off from somewhere. Oh, also the white spikes in that horrible movie that Amazon released that had really cool creature monsters in it. So yeah, this is the Great Red Dragon. He's got some big chonkin crushing claw arms, which is what they thought were Stone Crusher Carnifex things, made from Tyrannocyte bits and literal crushing claws as fingers. So that's fun. He's gonna have another one of these things that's balled up in a fist. And then he's got some giant Tyrannofex legs. Actually, this week I pinned the legs so I could attach them, but I can barely fit him on the screen. He's going to be a big boy. I actually was thinking this week, after what we saw on the weekend, that he could be a Norn assimilator. He'd probably be big enough. And I want him to have some kind of weird harpoons, which the Norn assimilator has. So yeah, that's what Tom Wilson is. All right, enough blathering on from me. Should we get into what we saw on the weekend?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So Kajan, thank you for sharing your screen. We've got the Tyranid victory thing up. We kicked some Space Marine butt. I got so happy on the stream on the weekend. I may have been yelling a lot. But yeah, so happy to see it. So why don't we get into the new stuff that was previewed, and let's hear what you guys think about it. Then we can also hear what the chat thinks about it. I know some folks in the chat were there on the weekend, but if you want to share again, or if you want to share any supplementary thoughts, please share them in the chat as we go through these. Kajan, take it away.
Yeah, I think the first thing we should be starting out with are the new Gene Stealers.
Yep. So Kajan, why don't you start and talk to us about how you feel about what we saw?
I really love the new Gene Stealers. Everything but the head. Still
Oh,
have the
really?
problem. Yeah, I'm still not a fan of the head. The problem I'm having with the head is it reminds me of a bullock dagger.
A what?
A bullock dagger.
It's a bollock dagger.
It's a Scottish medieval dagger that's carried like a phallus. It
Oh, I was
has
gonna say, why is it called a bollock dagger? Is it for
Yeah.
shanking someone in the bollocks?
No, because it has two balls at the end of
Oh,
the handle, and I have the same problem with the Gene Stealer head. It's fine for the cult, because those are
Yep.
supposed to be from human stock. So I'm fine
Yep.
with the head being more like that. But here you have these two balls where the brain like a big brain, and I'm
Yep.
not a fan of that. I
Oh,
wish
damn. Okay.
it would be more like general Tyranid heads, but it's
Yep.
fine. I mean, I love the poses.
Yeah.
All those new poses, I really love them, and it's
Great.
even the way they're doing the back carapers. I like that with the split open where the
Spinal
not
ridge or
the
whatever it
spine.
is.
That's the word. That's the word. The
Yeah.
spine, with the spine looking out, and the armor plates going up along the spine, and that's giving all of them a more limber look for me, while
Okay.
still being armored.
Yep.
Yeah, I really like them.
Great. What the hell's going on here? Sorry, I just had a slight malfunction on my end. Great. And what do you think about the hands?
I like them.
Yep.
I already liked the claws when they were on the Patriarch. I mean,
Yep.
those are my favorite rending claws that we
Yeah,
got.
they're great. Yeah, they're amazing.
As for the Gene Stealer itself, I'm really a fan of the classic Gene Stealer, where they were more like Jaws of Life.
Yes.
Mostly because when I think Gene Stealers, I'm thinking of the first story I read with them, where they were described as being able to cut through Terminator armor with those rending claws, and
Yes.
that's why I always liked the originals, because those look like a can opener.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, I agree with that. That's awesome. I love that flick
and
too.
and these claws, they look like a flash tearers, like proper rending claws, but I'm missing the can opener bit.
Yeah.
But
Well, we can
yeah,
hope that there's alternate claws on there, but I don't think that's probably likely. But that would be awesome if they had like a different type of claw included, like options. But I guess they would have shown us.
and I also like the hands. I mean, the hands are also nice.
Yeah, the more human-looking hands.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
they're nice.
they fit nicely together. I really like them, and I'm hoping to get to see a real back shot of this thing, so we
Yes.
see the proper way how it's looking from behind. Because
Yeah,
I still think the Overwatch box Gene Stealers had the best back thus far.
I
So
agree. 100% I agree. Yes.
we'll
Death Watch
see.
Overkill. That's
Yeah.
the one, right?
Yeah, that's the one. The ones we don't get.
I'm so shocked that they didn't use those sculpts for these. I'm shocked that they made like a limited edition Gene Sealer sculpt that didn't come out in these, but I guess they kind of did that with Space Hulk. They weren't new gene sealers. They were the same gene sealer design, but it was just a different posing on them in the Space Hulk. But the ones that came out for Death Watch Overkill, those were legit new gene sealers. So it's like, oh, these are clearly the sculpts they're going to use going forward, but they haven't. Part of me is like, could they release the Overkill sculpts as special gene sealers for Cult? But that doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense. I don't know why Games Workshop would have 2 gene sealer kits.
Yeah, I also wouldn't see that. I mean, I see the use for 2 different gene stealer kits.
Yeah, we'd love
Very
it,
much.
but
Yeah, I also would love it. I would love to have the Tyranid gene stealers and Cult gene stealers,
yeah,
where you have the Tyranid gene stealers looking more fitting into the Tyranid line, whereas the
yeah.
Cult gene stealers fitting into the Cult line. And you could still mix and match for Tyranid players, upping the diversity of our forces.
Yeah, but that's some Tyranid wish listing right there. I'd be shocked if they did that. That'd be great, but I'd be shocked if they actually did it. I'd be like, are you guys just trying to burn through money? But cool. Okay. Anything else that you wanted to share about them, or should we go on to Will?
Nope. Let's go to Will.
All right, Will, why don't you tell us how you felt about the Gene Stealers? And just a reminder, anyone in the chat, let us know how you felt about the Gene Stealers.
Honestly, I pretty much, my thoughts essentially mirror Kajan's. I like the kind of throwback, kind of mix of the modern, as I've been calling it, the new nids, kind of aesthetic, and like the old throwback stuff. I
Like, what
like that.
are you seeing that's new nids? Like, talk more to me about what you mean when you say
Well,
like the new nid aesthetic. What does that look like for you?
the sort of sharper armor plating and like a
Yeah,
slightly more angular armor plating is definitely like that part of this new wave of stuff, which I get, just as they say, it's in part for sort of better contrast painting, I guess.
yeah,
Like everything's a little bit like I guess sort of lither. Like
yeah.
I was putting away my Leviathan Termagants the other day, like putting it in my travel bag, and I had them next to the old Termagants, and like despite the base size increase, the new ones are noticeably smaller in scale than the old ones, and I
Mhm.
think everything you're getting kind of that I guess a sort of advancement in the printing and sculpting process that everything's just now like they can get this fine detail at a smaller scale, which is nice to see. But as Kajan mentioned, the way that they do the back spine is very reminiscent of the original Rogue Trader second edition stuff. They've gone back to doing like proper rending claws as opposed to just sort of like fused hands, which I always thought was boring. I know
Yeah.
some people were complaining about the kind of length of the fingers being a little bit large, but I don't know. I kind of like that oversizedness
Me
for this.
too.
It
Yeah.
kind of works, and it just gives it that like extra inhuman feel to it, right? To like have it clearly at a different scale than what you would expect of something at that size, and you can kind of think sort of fluff wise why these guys would be so scary to run into, because it's just like, oh god, these claws are like the size of gigantic chef knives.
Creepy monster
So
claws. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. Again, I also agree. The face. I feel like they could have done a little bit more to kind of meld the Gene Stealer to like Nid look. And I know I've been kind of toying around with a couple of like doodles here and there, trying to like bridge that gap myself. But yeah, I think overall, it kind of does a nice balance of we're not going too far away from what everybody knows to be the Gene Stealers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
I think.
realized there's a question I should be asking both of you. So I'll start with Will on this, and then we'll ask it of Kajan because I missed it for Kajan. Will, are you going to get some?
It's probably not going to be a priority for me just because I have so many Gene Stealers and I have enough of the old second edition Gene Stealers that I love to death that I'm probably perpetually going to be using ahead. But
Oh, a man of
these
character.
sculpts. I do like these sculpts better than the current range.
Me too, yeah.
So, like, down the line, I'll probably get it. I can't imagine there's not going to be like a combat control box that they release out in the future with these new sculpts.
Oh, right. Well, right now the combat patrol is the stuff out of Leviathan, which I find kind of uninspiring. Like, cool models, but like I don't need 1,000 more Termagants.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd rather if there was like Neurogaunts in there because they're more interesting to me. But yeah, that would be cool if they released a combat patrol with these Gene Stealers in it. It might not be like in the near future, it might be in a while, but I think you're right. I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
Okay, Kajan, are you gonna get some? Do you want to get some Gene Stealers? Do you want to pick them up when they come out?
I want to have a box of them, yes, someday. But just like well, the Gene Stealers are not a priority for me because pretty much every box we got in the last couple of years feels like had Gene Stealers in them, and
Agreed.
I really want these new sculpts because I really like the especially the tentacle one, the tentacle head one.
Oh, like the feeder tendrils?
Yes.
Yes.
The one I really like that one. I'm generally not a fan with the long tongues on Tyranid models. That's usually
these guys do have very long tongues, don't they?
Yeah, and usually that's the thing that I always pretty much always cut away on my models. I resculpt jawline and stuff like that to get rid of those tongues because I mean it's fine for Kiss doing it, but I don't need my
Kiss Stealers. There you go. They got infected by Slanesh. They're Kiss Gene Stealers.
The Gene Simmons strain.
Oh, look at what you did! Good, well done, well done.
Yeah,
Point well.
That was a good one.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The tongues are a bit excessive. There's one with a closed mouth that I think is actually. Can you scroll down, Kajan? Can we see the other picture? Yeah, there's one at the bottom. Like if you look in the bottom row, second from the left, he's kind of in the middle there. I really like that he's standing on both feet. He's got a closed mouth. He's kind of like looking. I would probably pose his arms lower. I really like that one. But yeah, they're all pretty good.
I definitely would be copying this head and probably this head, and this top one up here looks like it has a spike in it. That's also interesting. The
spike. So this is the center one. This is the yeah. So this is something that I wanted to mention. That when we were watching the stream with Games Workshop, I think that someone said that Eddie identified. There's one that has like sacs in its head. And it has what looks kind of like an ovipositor in its mouth. Or some kind of like... What's the thing on... You guys all know anatomy better than I do. The thing on... proboscis. It looks like it has kind of like a proboscis in its mouth. And then it has like some sacs on its head. I think that Eddie identified that one as the implant attack. But as Kajan's just saying, there's another one that has a spike in its mouth. And I think that's actually meant to be the implant attack. And that the ovipositor one, or proboscis one, is more of like an acid maw or something like that.
Yeah, if you look the center one in the top row, that one seems to have a claw as tongue you. And the bottom right one, that seems like its tongue has a hole in it.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about that looks like it's got like a proboscis whatever thing on the end of it. That one I think is the acid maw or whatever we're calling it these days.
Yeah, it seems likely. But these are interesting heads for me, and I have to say, probably would, if they're in the whole pack, if there are only one or two of them, I probably would be copying those on more models. as opposed to
Yeah.
all those long thong ones with the open mouth.
Yeah, good call. So Games Workshop has confirmed that there will be enough. Okay, stop the presses. Stop the presses. Games Workshop, once again, one after another, they're getting things right with this Tyranid release. There will be enough feeder tendril heads to give everyone in the squad a feeder tendril head. Praise the Sky Mother. That is some damn fine news. I'm so happy to hear that with these guys. Can you scroll to the one with the feeder tendril head there, Kajan?
Yeah.
I think if you scroll down, there's a guy painted in a blue scheme that you can keep going.
This one?
Mm-hmm. There we go. We got a big look at the feeder tendril head, as well as that weird acid maw head or whatever it is.
Yeah, that looks definitely like an acid maw.
Yeah, so that I love. I think that's a good looking feeder tendril head. Like we've had a number of different feeder tendril heads, be it on like, of course, lictors, on gene sealer cults, mutants and stuff like that. The tentacle heads on the current Tyranid gene sealers are not great. I'd say the ones from the cult are much better, but I think this is decent. Like I would happily use these heads on some gene sealers. How do you feel? You both feel about these feeder tendril heads?
I let Will go first.
They're definitely less clunky than the old ones. I was kind of playing around with one of the old heads for my little like lictor project that I'm working on tonight, and yeah, it just doesn't have the right feel, and these seem a little sleeker, which is nice.
Yeah. Kajan?
I like them. As I said earlier, I really like them, and
Yeah.
it's the only head I don't mind that they are flaring. The head at the back is flaring up because this gives me the idea of a squid.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like cephalopod type thing.
Yeah, some
Yep.
in that direction, and I think it fits together this way. But with the maw and everything, I don't think the flared out head works for me personally, and that's why I'm liking this one because I have the cephalopod feeling.
Nice. Yeah. No, I'm so thrilled that we have enough tentacle heads for a whole squad, and I'm thrilled that they look good. They did a good job on them. That is really great news. Yeah, and I just wanted to say that like Kajan was saying, there's some pretty good heads. Like they have the giant tongues, which, you know, might not be as awesome, but they're decent. And we'll get into just a few minutes. We'll get into something that I don't love the heads for, or the faces for. I think they did a good job on the heads and the faces for these. And I love them, and I'm gonna buy. Like, God bless both of you for having some self-control and being like, listen, I have a lot of old gene sealers kicking around here. Why the heck would I buy more gene sealers? Guys, just take your old gene sealers, get your barb gaunts, use your old gene sealer feet to make barb gaunt hands. Like, why the heck? Hold on, my camera keeps being weird. There we go. So use your old gene sealers to make great little hands for your barb gaunts, like our good friend Brett Evans taught us. And you could just steal some bits from your old gene sealers and pay them forward and use that as a justification to buy more gene sealers. I have a lot of I don't actually know how many gene sealers I have. I think I've actually like cannibalized them for this, that, and the other thing, and I might not have as many as I think I do, but I have a lot. I think I probably have more than I need, and that there's no real good reason for me to get these new gene sealers other than they're hot and I love them. And those big hands, at first I was like, they're a little big, but they've grown on me. I like them.
I like that disproportionate
Proportionate?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Disproportionately large kind of thing?
Yeah, it fits with the longer arms and more reach for the gene stealers, and it's helping with the idea of seeing those coming through a tunnel at you, like 20 creatures. You would want to have the ability to reach around one.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So anything else to share about the Gene Stealers? Actually, let's check. Can someone take a look in the chat and see if anyone's...
in the chat, Tom Wilson chimed in and said, I don't think they're an improvement from the current Gene Stealers, to be honest. I'd say they're about the same. They have differences, obviously, that I think both models are, but I think both models are on par with each other.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Thanks, Tom. Anyone else sharing thoughts?
Everett isn't a fan of the gorilla-like nostrils and the general simian heads.
Is that a throwback? Is that a throwback comment to the 3rd edition launch? In case you might be young enough to have not been around for the 3rd edition launch of the Gene Stealers, there was this whole like drama in the community because that was when like the leaks were still coming out strong, and someone leaked a picture of the Gene Stealers before they were actually like officially previewed by Games Workshop, and it was a head-on shot like right up the thing's like nostrils, and it made the nostrils look massive. And Jess Goodwin, I got it from his own lips, was pissed because he worked so hard on these plastics, and he was like, yes, we're doing Gene Stealers. And then someone leaked this picture and everyone's like, oh, look at Gene Stealers, they've got giant nostrils. And Jess was like, come on, what the hell? So yeah, he was pissed. You know, understandably so. You work on this model and it gets previewed in like a not awesome light. So yeah, pissed. So funny to comment on the nostrils on these boys.
Tyler Blevins said the alternate head options look good too, and the Magal one looks even more like a cephalopod.
True, I feel it too. I think it's the kind of like there's like flesh, like the connective tissue sort of stuff. I don't know. It's just really good.
I like that shape that they are moving. The current ones are like just straight down.
Yes, they're very wooden.
Yeah.
Kind of like spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uninspiring spaghetti.
And the last comment about the Gene Stealers is by Dwarven Age, and he simply says, I like them.
Good. Nice comment, Orphanage. Thank you. All right. Yeah. Let's move on to the next new thing that we saw, which is another troop type for Tyranid. Well, I don't actually know if Gene Stealers are troops anymore. Battle line, whatever the heck we're calling them.
I think they are.
Great. They should be.
Yeah, and the next one on the list are the Venerable Hormagaunt.
And Termagaunt, right? Okay, let's start with the Hormagaunts. All right. Kajan, you started with the last one, right? Did you?
Yep.
Or did Will start with the last one?
I did.
All right. Will, let us know how you feel about these Hormagaunts.
It's a good update. It's kind of like the Termagants. Like they didn't really venture too far from the original design, to be honest. But they just did their new kind of. They added a little bit more texture to everything, and they made them a lot less static in pose, and they look nice. Like nothing drastic, but I think it's just straight up a nice little update.
Nice. Sorry, I hate where my camera is. I keep moving it. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. And are you gonna get any?
Oh yeah, probably. I mean, they're definitely. I think that they're nicer update overall aesthetically than I think the Termagant ones for whatever reason. I think because the Termagants are sort of still generally in the same like positions.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean like they got like the leaping ones and stuff, and I'm also just generally kind of I know some people are worried that like the issue with the Hormagaunts still being woefully unbalanced on the table is still there.
Yep.
I'm just hoping that maybe there's some mass and how it's connected to the bases that like is gonna fix that a little bit. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, because if you're not familiar with Hormagaunts currently, they are the tippiest things on the planet. So good observation there. That I think Symbio Joe was commenting on that when we did our other stream, that maybe they will finally not be the tippiest things on the planet anymore. Maybe they will have solved that. So hopefully you're right. Hopefully that has been solved. And how many are you going to get?
Again, the issue is that I just have a lot of them. I'm because I know we were talking about on the Discord, and we were thinking that they were just gonna have essentially like one of every new thing in like a giant Vanguard box available on like with the main release.
Yeah, that seems
So
that's what we're guessing is going to be happening. Yeah.
it makes sense. And you know, if I'm not gonna say no if there's a unit of them in that box is what I'm saying. But
Okay.
probably similar to the Gene Stealers, not really a huge priority unless they happen to be coming with you know, other stuff that I'm already getting.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Kajan, how do you feel about the new Hormiguns?
I'm loving them. I want
Yep.
them.
Yep.
They're pretty much everything I wanted from Hormoguns.
Great.
I especially like the jumping one that's looking like the second edition. Which one? Mm, this one, like that one, and this one. Uh, these two, the jumping
The
ones.
more vertical one? The more vertical
Yeah,
one or the more horizontal one?
the horizontal one.
Yep.
They are we have this famous second edition picture where you have the Hormigaunt in mid jump,
Yep.
Yeah.
and I always wanted a model that's looking like that in the new Hormigaunt style, and
Yep.
looks like we're getting that. I also like that the front horn is toned down compared to the current line we
Yep.
have. I
Yep.
like that one, and really like the dynamic poses. It's no longer like I don't. All the other ones we have are super static, and I'm not a fan of them.
Right. Nice.
And all of these look nice in motion. So yeah, I'm really a
Cool.
fan of them. And as far as the Termagants go, I love that we are getting the Spike Rifle back.
Oh, let's finish with the Hormigons, and then we'll move on to the Termagants.
Oh, okay.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to say specifically about the Hormags?
Nope.
Will, did you have anything else you wanted to say about the Hormigons?
No, no other notes. I know, although I know somebody made a comment about like the wide open mouths being kind of a nice little sculpting touch, which,
Mhm.
as opposed to just kind of generally grinning or like slightly ajar with, you know, their tongue sticking out. So just nice
Yeah.
little variations that they're adding.
Yeah, I think I commented on that, kind of trying to channel Hydra, because he had said that it's dumb that Tyranids have an open mouth, but it's like barely open. They don't actually look like they're screaming. But with these, they look more like they're screaming. I'm gonna be the odd man out on these. That I think they're good, but of all the things that we saw in this preview, these are tied with one other thing for the thing I'm least excited about, or like from the preview.
Just
Like,
this preview, or do we include the Leviathan box?
oh no, just this preview.
Okay.
So like, I think that I actually don't think that the current Hormigons are that terrible. I think they've aged okay. I think the current Hormigons have aged better than the Termagants. So for me, I think, what did you say? I think Will said that for him the Termagants are just kind of like a little bit of a refresh, and that the Hormigons feel like more of a new take on them. For me, I feel like I appreciate what they did with the Termagants more than what they did with the Hormigants, which feels like a weird thing to do because these are like good models. But I don't know. I've also got a soft spot for shooty Tyranids, so maybe that's what's coming through here. That these are fine, but like there's a couple of the heads that just don't work for me. I think primarily I was saying how much I like the Gene Stealer heads, and they had that one Gene Stealer head with the mouth closed. There's a Hormigon here with the mouth closed, and it just, I think it looks super derpy. And it doesn't work for me. which is too bad. But like they're still okay. And like Will said, if I get a box that has them in it, I'm probably not gonna try and trade them away. But yeah, I don't know. I'm more about those Termags. Guess I'm being contrarian.
Is this the one you think is derpy?
Yes, that is the one. Yes, there's something about like the nose on that thing, like around the mouth, that I just think is too derpy. It's not working. Like I was literally thinking that when I get these, I've still got some old Hormigaunt heads kicking around. I might put an old Hormigaunt head on that one because I honestly think that the old Hormigaunt head looks better than that. Might be huge, but we'll see.
To me, that whole model reads like a like the Raptor, like a Velociraptor.
Oh, Velociraptor, yeah. These do have a very strong Velociraptor vibe, and I like that. I like that a lot. I think they capture that with the tails. I think they capture that with like the foot positioning. I really am looking forward to Hormagaunts that aren't tippy / aren't attached to their base with like the smallest plastic tab imaginable. Because that's another issue with the current Hormagaunts. You can snap those things off as soon as you look at them.
As with
So,
anything, I think with these releases, especially if I think something looks kind of particularly daft and awkward, I'm gonna reserve judgment until I see the community putting up some paint jobs, just because.
Right, a non-Leviathan scheme. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, like I know basically every time we see these things at this point, just like I can't wait to see Ryan paint them.
You're gonna have to wait a while. Ryan's got through one Neurogaunt. It looks amazing.
Looks great.
But he's got through one. He's sold the Neurogaunt with his paint job. But yeah, I agree that I love the Neurogaunts a lot more when I got to get my own paint job on them. Like I'm like, these are okay, they're pretty cute. I'm interested. I painted one up, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm more sold on these now. So it could be the case, you're right, that a non-Leviathan paint scheme may sell me on these heads or on these models more than the Leviathan scheme is, but yeah, I'm kind of mid on them right now.
Legit.
Anyone in chat? What's saying in the chat? Anyone in the chat have any comments about the Hormagaunts?
Comments in the chat.
Thank you. Yep.
Tyler Blevins said they made the Hormagaunts so much sleeker, lithe, but
yes.
the jury is still out on if we'll have to counterbalance their bases, and I agree with that. A couple of those look really dodgy in terms of their balance.
Yep.
But I'm fine with that. I mean,
we've all balanced enough of them.
So I have now got like the world's best balancing hack in the form of Blitz Mechanica, who works at a machine shop and gets me all these kinds of like really dense pieces of metal that are like scrap, and they are fantastic for balancing bases.
Yeah, just metal washers. You can just get a metal washer and put it on under there. At least that was my solution.
Yep, that works too. I used to do like fishing weights and then weird stuff like that.
Yeah, the half round, the splits. You can get those fishing lead weights that are round with a split inside, and you can just put a knife through the middle, and you have two half spheres.
Oh yeah.
They work like also amazing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Anyone else in the chat?
Yeah, Drovenage said the way the new Hormagaunts look to me, they are dynamic poses, but won't have balance issues. They look counterbalanced with their body weight.
As they should be.
Everett said the Hormagaunts tails look like they're actually balancing the creature as they run now, and I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a really good observation, certainly.
Tom Wilson said, I love the new gaunts, not a fan of a couple of the poses. If I have an issue in general with the rippers, I
ignore the rippers. They're not great.
I really wanted some cool rippers, and I missed the spine fist.
Yeah, like, can we not go, I guess if they were gonna do the whole, like, Nurgling treatment on rippers, with the whole, like, all the different Nurglings of the rainbow on different creatures, we would have seen more rippers by now. So it seems like for some reason they're just kind of like mailing in the rippers so that people can continue to have them. but I don't really understand why. Like, they're fine, but they don't really seem to serve a purpose, and it seems like they could have been a really good place to just experiment and just do really weird stuff. Like, make, like, spider rippers and make, like, weird snaky rippers and, like, yeah, but I don't know.
Gameplay wise,
nurgling
they're
with them.
also gameplay wise, they're also like very just kind of schmeh right now. They
Yeah,
don't really
they don't do
much.
anything, do they?
I think they negate the objective control like value of nearby people, but that's about it. Like they can't claim objectives themselves anymore, which is realistically probably a good balancing point. But
yeah,
they
I think it
don't
makes
really...
more sense for me that they annoy other people who are trying to claim objectives, because it's like, oh, I'm claiming this house. Why is it infested with rippers?
Yeah, it kind of makes sense fluff wise, but at the same time, it's like, oh, like you could spend the points, game wise if you're of the actually gaming persuasion, for probably something that does a little bit more.
Something a little more sweaty tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in chat we have Donald Omuchu joining us, saying hello.
Oh, welcome.
Oh,
And David Hills also joined us and says,
Oh my god,
"Hi,
I just
Nick."
realized half the chat is not on the screen. Sorry. Damn it. That was dumb.
David Hills says, "Hi, Nick. Hope you and Nora are well."
Hi, David Hills. Welcome. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're doing okay. Nora's off doing Dragon Boat stuff tonight.
And he also shared his tip for how you can counterbalance your homogons with car wheel weight.
Oh, like you
fairly
put on your
cheap.
brakes to balance. That's really cool. That's smart.
And
Nice.
Donald is joining us from Ireland,
Oh, welcome.
and he's loving your work.
I've been to... Oh, thank you. I've been to Ireland once. I've only been to Dublin. So I went to the Guinness Brewery. And if anyone is in Ireland, you should go to the Guinness Brewery, especially if you're in Dublin, because it's like the Willy Wonka Palace of Beer. It is cool. It is damn cool. And it is true what they say, that Guinness tastes better in Ireland. If you don't love Guinness elsewhere, you should try it in Ireland. Because it's damn good. Very fresh. Anyway. Sweet. Okay, shall we move on to the gaunts?
Sure.
The
Yep.
termagants, rather?
Yep. Should I or will?
I went first last time, so
Okay.
switch off.
I'll be quick. My opinion about them hasn't changed much from what we've seen in the Leviathan. I like them. What we've seen here pose-wise, I'm not too thrilled about it. They're a little bit boring. Unfortunately, they remind me a lot of the current line gowns, which are also very boring in terms of their poses. Don't know why that is. I wish they would be more dynamic. But I think that's hopefully an easy fix when you combine those with the homogons and give them some little bit more range. I love that we are getting the spike rifle back. I mean, that's a positive thing. As for the spine fists, to me, that's no loss.
We haven't even seen the spine fist. Like, where the heck are the spine fists?
Yeah, I have no idea. Probably because they don't want you to go into melee anymore with the gaunts.
Spine fists aren't melee, though. They're shooting.
Yeah, but they were pistols, and
right.
Basically how you use them would be you throw your gaunts as a melee shield, and then shoot. You just mob something, and then shoot in the shooting phase with the pistols on whatever you were you use them as melee troops, basically as cheaper melee troops. At
Good
least
point.
that's how I saw them used most often.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like back in the days when the spine gaunts were the
Super
be
cheap.
all and end
Yeah.
all, they were super
Yeah.
cheap, and like they weren't amazing in melee, but yeah, you could mob people with them. You get in
Yeah,
close, maybe you shoot, and then you just like pile them in with these super cheap gaunts.
yeah. You had some big beefy guy that would be killing like 5 of them per turn, but what do you care? You have 30 of them. You just
Kill all you
throw
want, we'll make
them.
more.
Yeah. And you just throw them onto some big beefy dude, and he's just swamped and doesn't get anywhere. So I get why they don't include it anymore.
No, they do include it though. Like that's the thing. They said in the preview stream that, oh yeah, and don't worry, you can have spine fists too, but they just didn't paint any with spine fists for some reason.
Okay. Then let's see what they will look like. As for I like that some of them like the whatever the phallus shaped thing is.
Oh, that's the strangle web.
Strangleweb.
Strangle web? They
Strangle
get
web, yeah.
strangle webs now? Okay.
Yeah, that's a It's so they've brought back the two classic
back.
weapons, the strangle web and the spike rifle.
Oh, okay. I only knew the spike rifle, strangle web. I mean, I knew we had it. And that it's
I
back.
mean, fairly certain. Like that thing looks exactly like a strangle web right down to the backpack. So it could be
yeah,
a flame spurt, but
yeah.
that would be
I
a weird
think
flame
that
spurt.
that was my idea. That's probably some flamethrower thing.
It probably
Going to
probably
be
functions like a flamethrower.
yeah. That's what I suspect. That they're probably shooting some acid like the Pyro War.
Some
Like
folks have said that they're expecting that the rules for the strangle web will be similar to Weber's because Weber's have come back and like we have Weber's in like other lines like in I think Necromunda, the Gene Stealer cult can get web guns. So yeah, it's like basically like a flamer. That
I mean,
messes with
I'm all
people.
for getting Weber's back. That's great if it's that.
Oh, Weber's have been back for a long time, man. Gene Stealer cult released with Weber's in 2017.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pass me
so
by
they've
entirely.
been back for a while, but only certain factions have them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Cool.
But anyway, what I like is how they the weapons are integrated into the bodies now with the backpack and they are no longer looking as much like a gun that's being held. And
Yeah.
that's a positive thing for me. I really dislike the whole idea of these are guns that are being held, and
Yeah.
that's we had that a lot this far. So I welcome any change that's getting us away from guns being held and back to these are also creatures being held.
Yeah.
But I also
Cool.
see we no longer have eyes on the weapons, and so probably not.
Oh, interesting observation.
Yeah, that's me.
Cool.
Well, your turn.
All right. Will, tell us what you think about the new gaunts.
I mean, pretty much the same sentiment as Kajan. It's not much to say about the bodies, since I'm pretty sure they're the same body sprues, and I'm pretty certain that we're just getting a separate weapon sprue. And I know we've talked about it, and I think my buddy Andrew mentioned that, like, I guess I could totally see all these things being in a kill team box.
You think so? I don't know. I haven't seen a kill team sprue yet. Like, there's not enough variety. I was expecting the Gene Stealers would be in a kill team box, but from what they've shown us, it doesn't feel like there's enough weird special operative bits on sprue to make them a kill team, unless Games Workshop is not caring about giving that kind of stuff to Tyranids, which would be sad.
I could see them not caring enough about that kind of stuff to give to Tyranids. That said, I like the nostalgia. Like, I mean, I think just like anybody else who's been playing for and like doing this hobby for a long time, I started off with second edition. I have an old Strangleweb metal Termagant. I love seeing the I like the throwbacks. I mean, the idea of this spike rifle is part of the reason why I'm even doing this sniper lichter, like kit bash
Yeah.
idea. Just because I think you were talking about it, I'm like, yeah, that does sound like a fun thing to do, to just have like kind of a modern spike rifle in here. And
Yeah. Sniper Lichter's been in the back of my head for a long time. That thing lives rent-free in my head.
yeah, I mean,
This is an idea.
the Termagant with the barb launcher is literally the most boring part of this whole thing.
The barb
even
launcher? Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Yeah. Yeah, the like Termagants have heavy weapons now. I'm jazzed.
Yeah.
You say it's boring?
I mean, I think it's more that it's just like, okay, we saw that on the barb guns already.
Yeah, it's the same
So
thing.
just yeah. So
Yeah,
like
but I
it's
like
not
it
that
more
it's
here.
yeah. Although I think as
What's
somebody
that,
mentioned
Kajan?
somewhere,
Sorry, Kajan, I didn't hear you. What was that?
I like it more here.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
I'm not a fan of the barb guns.
Why do you like it more here? Sorry to interrupt, Will. I'm just really curious.
no worries.
Because as I said, I'm not a fan of the barb guns.
Yeah.
The models look strange to me, the way they are posed, and like the three-legged. I know the fourth hand is up on the gun and operates the gun, but the whole pose doesn't work for me. Here it works for me.
Okay, gotcha.
That's why I like it here. I would be probably more inclined to use these than the other ones.
Yep. Cool. Okay. Come on.
No, it's not a bad thing, but it's just like it's somebody mentioned it, I think, during the Saturday stream. I'm like, damn it, now I can't unsee that.
Been cursed.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see additional variety in the weaponry for Termagants. I think.
Yep.
Just any extra variety, but at the same time,
Sorry, I lost you there. At the same time,
nostalgia elements for some of returning the spike rifle and the Strangleweb. It's like, okay, nice, but not like anything new per se.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, for me, I feel like I've already talked about this on the other stream, but I love and I said here, I love the Termagants. I like shooty guns, shooty bugs. I love that Termagants have special weapons now, and they have heavy weapons in the form of the barb. Although, wait, don't they call it? They call it a shard cannon here or something. Okay, this is like there's a couple things I wanted to talk about that came out after this or through this. They call it a shard cannon or something, or a shard launcher, whereas the ones on the barb gaunts are called bio cannons in their card. But someone said that in the cards that come with the combat patrol, they're identified as shard launchers. So I don't know if Games Workshop just got that wrong in the index cards that they released, but I swear that it was a bio cannon, and I was like, why is it called a bio cannon? That's like what you put on a Titan. So that was really
100%.
weird.
I could 100% see that as being bad GW, classic GW, bad editing.
We're gonna get into a little more of that when we get to the Biovore Pyovore. I have a something else that I want to talk about, but yeah. So I like it way better as a shard launcher than a bio cannon, because bio cannon just sounds like what they did with the warriors, where they're like they have what do they call them, bioweapons, instead of like actually giving them like bone swords and lash whips and stuff like that. So that was a little annoying. So it just sounded like a generic gun name. It's like they have Tyranid gun, which doesn't work for me. So I'm glad it's called a shard launcher. I'm glad they have a heavy weapon, because you've seen my stand gaunts. I like having gaunts with different kind of gun layouts. So this is awesome. And clearly I should harvest some shard launchers from my oh shit, what are they called? From my barb gaunts, yeah, that I got with Leviathan, and slap them on my Termagants, because we know they're coming. Anyway, great. So that is
Oh.
the Gaunt done. What about the chat?
Um,
What's the chat saying?
In chat, Mother Reaper wants us to talk, asks if we can talk about how the Gauntlet launcher is anatomically like a horse phallus.
Nope. We can move right on from that. No need for Slaneshi content.
Tom Wilson, that's probably was about hormones. 1 second. Thierra said, God, I love the new homies that came after we moved on. Then Tyler Blevins said the back part of the Devourer is more interesting, but the gun part is underwhelming.
Oh yeah, thank you for mentioning the Devourer. I'm super disappointed with the Devourer. Like, that is just like a one-to-one photocopy of the existing Devourer. I guess they might have made it a little smaller. They could have done so much better. I'm super disappointed. Because the Devourer's okay, but it could have been much better, and like that is legit the same sculpt that we had in 2001, 2002, whatever it is. So I'm super, super disappointed, and I'm actually hoping that they did something different with the Spine Fist, but after seeing the Devourer, I think they're probably just going to photocopy the Spine Fist as well. Which
Probably.
sucks.
No, most
Like, I
likely.
feel even with the flesh bore, like, it was very close to the old flesh bore, but they kind of updated it a bit. They made it a little nicer. Why didn't they do that with the Devourer? I mean, like, God, I want the Devourer to be a really cool gun. I feel like Games Workshop doesn't care about it. Like, I want it to be, like, recapture the second edition, like, I don't know. I just feel like it was much cooler, much more fun in the second edition. Now it's just kind of like an also ran. They just, like, tack it on there. Like, oh, yeah, you can get a Devourer. Good luck. Sorry. That's me in my soapbox. And shooty Tyranids, which I love.
Yeah, I love shooting Tyranids as well.
Good.
that's
I'm
all
glad you
good.
share my love. Anyone else in the chat, or should we move on to
yeah.
lictors?
Tyler Blevins said he has a bucket of loose spine fists in my bits collection.
We
And
all have so many of them.
Oh yeah.
And the limbs being integrated into the guns look better than the ones of the current kit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have no idea what Robin H is referring to when he said it's a stud form.
Oh, I know what he's
Oh,
referring
it's because of the strangle web.
Okay.
He's referring to the strangle web.
And other than that, we have the error just chiming in. I want the spine fist to look like spikes from Marvel.
From what?
Spikes? The spikes
Spikes
from Marvel?
I don't know that.
I'm
It looks like a
not
character
actually-
name. Spikes.
Spikes.
Arath,
Probably Wolverine.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that
Kajan,
that
sorry,
reference is
Arath,
definitely.
can you give us a picture of that in the Discord for later? Because I'm curious what you're talking about. Because that could be a good source for converting the Spine Fist to look more cool.
Yeah, definitely. And other than that, we have a final comment by DM Edison, who commented on the Rippers, and he said the Ripper would be fun if it had a unit that could spawn ones like Tarbagon.
Well, sort of. Don't wait. Does the parasite spawn rippers, or is it just like it does damage to people and like fluff wise it spawns rippers? It doesn't. Does it actually spawn rippers? Did I misremember that?
I think it can, but
I think there's a stratagem thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm not quite sure.
Anyway, okay, cool. So let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
What do you got?
The error just said Spike is a character from Marvel, and he throws bones from his fist.
Oh, I want to see that. Show me more. I would like to know more. Not right now, but if you can put it in the Discord, I'd like to check that out later.
Yeah, and I think that's all in
Perfect.
that.
Thank you.
And we'll be moving on to our lictor.
Sneaky boys.
Oh, the lictors.
Will, I think you get to go first, don't you? Or was it Kajan?
Yep.
I can't remember.
Will gets to go first.
Yeah, so this release, this whole review was overall definitely what I enjoyed the most of Saturday stream. The fact that we saw Death Leaper before, and I know like right now we've got a cape no cape kind of debate going on still about that one. But as far as just the regular Lictor, perfect new update on it. He's definitely a bigger dude. I know they just confirmed, was it today or yesterday, that that kit is just one model. So my guess is we're getting two different sets of legs, sort of like what we have with the Tyrant and the flying Tyrant thing. I've commented at it ad nauseum in our Discord about the grasping claws, and I'm pretty sure it's a single pair and it's not two different like folded and open
Yeah, you want to
pair.
explain that to people? Because Kajan, can you scroll down to where it shows the grasping claw? Oh, did you zoom out? Did I zoom out?
Yeah, I zoomed out a little bit to have more pictures on the screen.
Oh, can you zoom in on the grasping claws of the Lictor, not the Death Leaper? So get right in on that claw on the left-hand picture. Like if you click on it, it'll get bigger, maybe.
Enhance.
Enhance. We want to get right in like the joint between the top part and the mid part, if you can. So Will can explain what is his theory, because I think it's a good theory.
I think that's the biggest thing. I get it.
Okay, Will? Will? You want to
Oh, sorry.
break it down?
So if you guys look at the Leviathan scheme one, the grasping claw on our left, the way that if you look at how that little like bit of tendon connects to the upper and like lower parts of it, there seems to be a bit of like a seam line. And if you kind of compare the left and the right lictors together, the claws should be, other than how they're painted, should be essentially identical. So I think there's a little bit, sort of a wedge-shaped bit that will either make the arms closed or open. This is obviously a lot of speculation, but I'm pretty certain they're not.
I'm with you.
I'm
with
pretty
you as
certain they're
well.
not giving us two sets of claws, which would have been dope. But
Yeah, that'd be amazing, but I don't think so.
that said, this model is kicking. It's got so many throwbacks to so much old artwork. I know Flynn noted the little like thorax claws on the sides of his waist.
Yes, those like waist blades that are like so weirdly iconic of the second edition Lictor that I even forgot about them. Like, I was amazed when he caught that.
Yeah,
and amazed at Games Workshop for including that.
Yeah, and even the little like crests on the side of the head, I think are kind of a throwback to some second edition artwork, if I'm not
I don't remember
mistaken.
that. I don't remember the crests.
I feel like I remembered that on somewhere. Nope, I have like it somewhere in my room. I don't know where, but I think that's like a nice little homage to the old drawings. But yeah, it's
Cool.
just a beautiful update to this one, and the fact that like they also threw in like there's also a Neuralic there was kind of unasked for, and I'm not a big fan of their current naming convention of just adding neuro in front of everything.
Yeah.
But like, especially if we're getting a bunch of extra bits in these kits, like, and like nice long Tyranid legs, anything that gets me more Tyranid legs for converting, where I don't have to like just steal them and like make them bigger from like Tyranid warrior kits.
Yeah,
I am a huge fan of.
I'm right there with you on that. Good observation.
Yeah.
Good point.
S tier reveal, like overall, I think, for these guys.
S tier? What does S tier mean?
above A, if you play a lot of
Oh.
JRPGs.
Oh, okay. No, I don't. Okay, cool. Kajan, what you got to say about the Lictor? And like Neurolictor, Death Leaper. I guess you can do them all together. It might be taking too long. We might have to speed this up a bit.
I like them. I like that the little spikes in the arms are pointed in the right direction, and when I first saw it, I thought we get probably two set of legs.
Yeah.
But the more I'm looking at them, because the red one looked beefier to me, but it
Yeah,
might
agreed.
just be the angle.
Yeah.
It's the same with the arms. The arms on the red one seem to have some bone protrusion at the elbow, and I'm
Yeah.
not sure what's that about.
Oh
Which
wait,
I
isn't that
don't
the
see.
tail coming up behind?
Yeah,
Could be.
I think it's the
pretty sure
tail
that's
coming
the
up
tail.
behind.
That's it could be. That's a distinct possibility, but until we see the proper picture, we'll don't know for sure. Again, I like the feeder tendrils on this one because they also are not just straight down, and
Yeah.
they are looking narrower. I'm not a fan of the way they look on the red one. I like them on the Leviathan one.
Yep.
So probably going to depend a lot how you pose it, if it's looking right or not. Because on the red one, they're looking wooden.
Mhm.
They don't confer to gravity. I'm with Will on the way the claws are shaped. That there are probably two parts to them.
Yeah, you can get two poses out of one set of claws.
Yeah,
And
and I
someone in the Discord, when we were discussing that, they said like, you could just like shave down those bits to get like any angle you want, like trim them down a bit, and you can totally, you don't have to just take like the open angle or the closed angle. You can totally modify that bit.
Yeah,
Do the angle you
I
want.
can totally see that. And I
Yeah.
like the fact that it has cloven hooves.
Yep. Oh wait, I wanted to
I
show you. I actually did cloven hooves on my oh crap. It's hard to do on so this Death Leaper I posted this week. Did some small modifications. Hard to do on this rock one because the hoof is up on the rock. I might drill it to make it cloven, but with the other one, I actually went in there with my scalpel. Let's see if this will focus. Come on, you can do this. I actually went in there with my scalpel and cut out, because like Games Workshop has kind of like molded them to be sort of cloven, but you got to cut it out. So I cut it out on this guy and on some of the neuro guards to make it more obviously cloven. But yeah, good point that this guy's actually got cloven hooves.
Yeah, I like that because it's just more all terrain that way.
I don't know if they pass the oh, maybe they do. I don't know if they passed the Vermis smell test. Vermis was posting about cloven hooves and how like they're actually separate. Like it's not just one hoof that's cloven in two. Like it's two separate hooves. So I can't really tell from these pictures. It looks like it's close to that. What do you think?
It's basically fingernails, and they look like they're two separate parts. If you're looking at the Leviathan one,
Yeah.
it's looking like it's actually two separate hooves, or it's
Beautiful.
supposed to be.
Perfect.
I also like the little claws on the side of the legs because they actually look like they're functional. They look
Yeah.
like they can reach down and help claw something. I would turn them around, to be honest. So
Turn them
they're
around.
yeah, like just flip them the one of the right side to the left side and other way around. So they're looking backwards. So you have them like a thumb
Pointing in
that's
towards the hooves? Or
to the
what?
back of the model. So
Okay.
you have the cloven hoof in the front and the small
Oh,
claws in the back to give it extra
like a
stability.
stabilizing.
Yeah,
Ah, I see what you're doing. I
to
like
have it
that. That's a good
really
point.
dig in and claw hold onto something. You have
Yeah, if it's like
basically
climbing.
yeah, you basically would give it the ability to climb stuff despite the hoof, because you could
Yep.
then suggest that the claws are turning around and holding against the hoof itself. So
Smart. Gotcha. That's a good observation.
that's what I would do. And
Nice.
I'm not sure if it's going to be a dual kit with the. Do we know that?
I
With
think
the
they
Death
said it's
Leaper?
not, didn't they? Or no, someone
I,
guessed that it's not because the Death Leaper base is way bigger than what we see on the Lictor.
okay. I mean, yeah, the Death Leaper
Is
seems
that right,
like
Will? Is that what you remember?
I think that's what I guessed. I think Monty Yaida, I think Yaida,
Yep.
had the same thought as I did. So we'll see.
I
It'd be
think
cool to get a dual kit. I was expecting a dual kit, but now I don't think so.
yeah. I mean, when I look at it, it seems like a totally different model. So I don't think we'll get a dual kit.
And like
I
when we
will.
look at the Neurolictor, it doesn't look like the Neurolictor shares any parts with the Lictor.
Yeah,
We
that's
want to
that's
talk about
why.
the Neurolictor with the Lictor. Like, do you have any thoughts
Yeah,
about the Neurolictor that you want to
I I,
comment
th-
on?
I think we should, since you want to speed up a little, I think we should
Yeah.
be moving on to the Death Sleeper.
Yeah.
And
Slash do Death Leaper and Neurolictor together.
yeah,
Do you have any comments?
yeah.
Go ahead.
In terms of Death Leaper, I think we talked about it already when we saw it.
Maybe.
When we, I mean,
That was weeks ago. Yeah.
yeah. I'm fine with it. I put up that meme with Darkwing Duck. That was my thought about it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
I'm basically fine with the tailcoat.
Yeah.
But I like the face. Really like the face. I like the Death Leaper's face. I like the most of all of them.
Yep.
If I'm being honest, even the tentacles of the feeder tendrils look the best.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the Neurolictor, I not a fan of the exposed brain.
Yeah.
Especially the
You mean
way
the
it's
hit
painted.
target?
Yeah,
The targeting box?
that's just what I wanted to get at. Especially the way it's painted here. It's like shoot here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Shoot here to
Everyone's played
kill.
that video game.
Yeah.
Everyone's played that video game. Oh, I gotta shoot the glowing part? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's so bad. I'm totally going to fill that up. But other than that, I really like the model. I
But
don't
how are you
think
gonna
it
know
would.
it's a Neurolictor if it doesn't have a big exposed brain, Kajan? Come on.
Yeah, no comment. I think the Neurolictor would look better without the legs.
Oh, float. I thought it was floating. Like, I honestly missed the legs initially because they're kind of in line with the tail and it's got like a much bigger, beefier tail. I'm with you on
Yeah,
that.
I also at first thought it was standing on the tail like a Ravener,
Yeah,
but
we're like, hey, it's called a Neurolictor. It's got an exposed brain. Must be floating.
I missed the hoof, the original, the first time I saw it.
That's why they got
yeah,
that bottom right-hand zoomed-in picture of just the hoof for God knows what reason.
yeah,
Oh, I
and
should bring that. Hold on.
then I
there it is.
noticed it has the leg there, and I was a little bit disappointed. I have to look at the model when I get my hands on it. I will get my
Yeah.
hands on it.
Oh, I haven't been doing that. Lictor, are you gonna buy it, Will? How many?
Hell yeah. Yes.
How many?
Yes. All of them.
How many? Oh, yes is the answer? Okay, gotcha. Kajan, you gonna buy the Lictor? How many?
Not sure if I will be buying the Lictor. I will be buying the Neurolictor, and I will be buying the Death Leaper.
Interesting. Okay, cool. All right. All right, so yeah, Neurolictor, continue about the Neurolictor. Tell me more.
Yeah, I have to see it to know if I want to remove the legs or not. Right now, I'm in camp. The legs need to go.
Yeah.
Other than that, I like it. I also like
Cool.
the tail coming out of the top spine, basically, or brain.
Oh, the back.
More.
Yeah, the back tentacle thing.
I like that
Okay.
one. Should
You
be
know
All
what?
long.
right.
I'm just noticing that it has like this weird dew claw coming out of the side of its knee.
The legs
That's
are just a
weird.
mess.
That's
The legs are a mess.
you
Yeah.
have the same thing with
Oh, the lictors have that.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
other lictors also have them. I mean,
So
that's a lictor thing now.
it's weird, but I feel like I want it to be pointing up, so that they can like jam it into someone's face, like a knee horn. What do you guys think?
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the spikes on the kneecaps. On the That's one of
Yeah.
the things I'm removing because to me that's a sword catch. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, it's weird. I didn't really notice those, and I'm not loving them. Like excellent kits. Other than that, I would say
I will say
yeah.
that
interesting, but
I'll say
go
that
ahead.
one now that I've been kind of looking at this picture of the Neurolictor again, I think it would look pretty dope without the leg and like borrowing the Neuro Tyrant's crown. But I think that's gonna kind of depend on
Oh,
how
I
the
have an
relative
extra
sizing fits.
crown. That's a good point. Ooh,
I like
okay.
that
I
idea.
feel like this is gonna be a fun kit to
Yeah,
do some weird fun kit bashes with.
Yeah. Okay, so I love the Lictor. I love it to death. I've always loved Lictors. It's weird because I haven't made that many of them, but I do love them. I've loved them since second edition. I had a pile of them. I think this is an almost perfect Lictor, the actual Lictor model. I would like to do a couple of small modifications, but just for fun, to possibly make it look more like that classic Jess Goodwin sketch that I'm obsessed with. But I like Deathleaper. He's grown on me. He was weird at first, but I'm digging him. Honestly, alongside the Hormagaunts that I was kind of like meh on, the Neurolictor is another thing that I'm meh on in this. It seems too noodly. It seems too kind of all over the place. Why are there so many sections in the arms? I honestly wonder if they gave it to someone who wasn't as familiar with Tyranids to sculpt because it's got the extra sections in the arms. Or maybe it was the same person that sculpted the Neuro Tyrant with the extra sections in the arms. They don't bother me so much on the Neuro Tyrant, but they bother me here. It's too noodly. So I like the head. I'll probably, if it comes in a box with other stuff, that's great. But if I get one, I like the head. I actually like how the head tentacle attaches, even if I'm not crazy about the way Games Workshop's doing head tentacles. This one sells me on the head tentacle. But the other arms, like the hands, the rending claw hands are kind of cool, but the rest of it, like the scythe hands do nothing for me. The legs do nothing for me. I mean, to Will's point, like skinny legs you can use on something else. They might look cooler on something that doesn't have such a giant tail, but I really like Kajan's point about having it like lose the legs just beyond the tail. I think that's a good solve for it. But yeah, the Neurolictor is one of my least favorite things of this whole preview. But the Lictor's amazing. I did not expect the Lictor to be this good. Like, I wanted Games Workshop to give us a proper Lictor. For some reason, I didn't think they were going to pull it off. They pulled it off. It's spectacular.
to me, those arms on the Neurolictor, the sides don't read as sides. To me, they read as grasping claw types.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that of everything in
terms
this
the way-
release I want to buy, the Neurolictor is the only thing I might not buy unless it's like in a box or something else. Sorry, just wanted to say that.
It's okay. We have
Okay.
chat is chiming
Yeah,
in.
chat.
The
Yep.
chat has opinions on the Lector.
Good.
Drominage said, I like the new Lector. I like the thigh-high mommy looking Lector. I don't love Darkwing Duck Leaper.
Okay.
Tyler Blevins said, fan of the pose of the Neurolictor if it were 90 degrees off center instead of 65 or 70. I'd like it more.
Yeah.
Tom Wilson said, I'd like to know the breakdown of the Lictor box. I'm worried it's going to be a few separate boxes for the different types, and I agree. That's probably going where this is going, with the Neurolictor being separate box, the Death Sleeper separate box, and
Wait, I
the
don't understand that. You mean that each one of the lictors is going to be in its own box?
yeah. That's what he's worried, and I agree with him. Is probably
Tom
where
was hoping
this
that they
is
would all
going.
be in the same box?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be different boxes for all of them because the bases look different. Like, I think that's the key. When you look at the thing assimilator, Nor assimilator, it's the same base on everything. I think that's a dead giveaway.
And Eric Odison joined us and said, "Oh hey."
Eric, welcome, buddy. Do you have anything to say?
No, not anything about that.
Okay.
Era said Neurolictor is awesome. Only thing that really annoys me about its neck. The neck looks like copy and paste job, doesn't suit the body, and looks like it's been taken from the Carnifex.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see it.
He continues, Neurolictor tail and leg combo reminds me of our kangaroos. I assume that's the mode of locomotion for him.
He bounds around, enhanced by psychic powers. Yeah, I missed that Arath is also in Australia. So he's another Aussie.
He earlier said.
He said
as
earlier,
much
yeah, I saw that. Yeah. We were looking for Aussies to tell us about Vegemite.
Yeah. And we skipped right over that. Dwarvenage said, I really like the Neurolictor legs, and posing probably needs like a 5 times torso turn. 5
Oh,
degree.
okay.
I think
5 degree? Yeah, it's something about the turn torso is like awkward for me. It's like too turned. It's like, you know, when someone like finds that they can like multi-pose models and they pose them a little bit too far?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting from the Neurolictor.
And Eric then said the head would look cool on a Hive Tyrant, maybe. And
Yeah, likely.
I agree with
That's a good observation.
You just have to close up that big shoot me here to kill box.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's got a psychic shield. It's fine. It's luring you into a false sense of security. You're like, I'll shoot it right there, and you shoot it right there with the last cannon, and nothing happens, and you're like, oh crap. What do I do now?
That's probably the whole point of it.
Yeah.
And Dwarvenage also said, I really like the lower half of the Neurolictor. And then we have the final with Tom Wilson. I've been wondering if the head tentacles are supposed to be another biomorph organism. I thought.
Oh, interesting.
And he said, I saw like a pack of 3 Death Leaper, Neuroleaper in separate boxes.
I think they're going to be in separate boxes.
Don't think we get a pack of. I don't think we get a pack of 3 lictors.
I think the only way that's going to happen is in a launch box. They might all be in a launch box together.
To me, the lictor doesn't look like the small lictors we have right now. They look larger to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, this thing looks pretty chunky.
I think what we're seeing here is that the von Ryan sleepers take over the spot the Lictor has right now.
Yep, and you can use your current Lictors to be Von Ryan's Leapers.
Yeah, that's what I assume will happen, and the Lictor is going to be more like a command HQ unit. That's probably what we'll see.
Well, I think it'll be like an elite, but I think it'll be like a big elite. Well, we don't have elites anymore, do we? I don't know. What used to be elites?
I think it's going to be an HQ, like the.
Oh God, I hope not. Please, no. Oh, but I guess we don't have limits on HQ in the new rules, do we?
No, not really.
No, I think the Death Leaper is going to be an HQ. I think the Lictors will be separate, but I don't know. Maybe you're right.
I think Death Leaper and Lictor is going to be more like a Trigon type of deal, where they're basically the same thing but different.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the error said Neurolictor screams for Hive Tyrant flying tail conversion.
True. Yeah, that'll work too.
I feel like my head is just coming up with a lot of different ideas for the Neurolictor. I think probably because this was like the least anticipated like thing that because they just kind of threw
Yeah,
it
yeah,
at
complete
us.
surprise.
Like a regular Lictor, we were all pretty much expecting, but this one was like, nah, man.
Oh,
Has a
big
lot of
surprise.
interesting parts. But moving on.
Wasn't like, as much as I don't like it, I'm happy to be surprised.
Yeah.
Cool new Tyranid models are always great. Cool new like creatures are always great.
And in the interest of saving time, we are moving on to
Yes,
the
thank you.
Biowar.
Oh God, we're only at the Biovore. Damn. Okay, thank you.
It's
Second
just
to
the
last one.
Biowar, second to last one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like it. I'm not a fan of the cannon, but everything else I really like.
So this is what I wanted to talk about. What you've got up is actually the Pyrovore.
That's the
Yep.
Biowar. Okay.
Yeah, go to the other one. So that one, if you click on it, that's the Biovore. But if you look at the cannons, the one on the quote-unquote Pyrovore looks more like what you'd expect of a Biovore cannon. Someone named Dicey June on Twitter went through this and kind of compared the structures on it. The carapace structures on top of that cannon look like the carapace structures on top of the Biovore cannon. The weird sacks on it look like spore mines, kind of. Can you scroll down a little bit, Kajan?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the sacks on it look like spore mines are shoved in there. Like there's a large bulging sacks. Even like I think the end of the barrel might look like a Pyrovore. So there's like this person, Dicey June, brought this up on Twitter, and it's also now living rent-free in my mind that someone may have fucked up at Games Workshop and they put the Biovore beside spore mines, or sorry, they put the Pyrovore beside spore mines in the preview because the cannons were painted the same as the spore mines, and that it could be that they reversed them, and that this one with the tail is supposed to be the Biovore, and the one with no tail with the cooler gun is supposed to be the Pyrovore, but who knows what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the bottom one was the Biowar.
It's
the
identified
one
as the
on screen,
Pyrovore.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
like
thought,
you'd be forgiven because there are hallmarks to it that clearly point to more Biovore. But Games Workshop is calling it a Pyrovore, so I don't know what happened there.
okay.
I think that there's credence to the idea that they may have reversed them, and that when they were designed, they were supposed to be the opposites, which is interesting.
Yeah, I can see both.
So, chat, how do you feel? Do you feel that that they make sense the way Games Workshop has them, or would you like to see them reversed, where the chunkier, kind of spore sacky looking gun should be the Biovore? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Kajan,
Yeah,
keep going.
but
Sorry.
to conclude, I really like everything about the model except for the guns. I'm not a fan of the guns.
Oh.
The guns look tacked on to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love them to be more integrated in the model.
Yes.
I'm not sure how to explain it. I would like.
No, that's a good way.
Right now, they just look like you have a spider turret and something. You put on a unbalanced gun on top. I can't see how this gun doesn't fall off the first time you shoot it.
Yeah.
That's my problem
that's a good observation.
with the thing. It doesn't look balanced. It doesn't look integrated. At the bottom one, that's why I thought, aside from the more veiny look to it, that's more looking like birthing and stuff to me.
Yep.
It has the tail back up, and that looks like the tail is cradling it and stops it from being knocked back.
Yep,
Knocked
I like
off,
it.
and
Yep.
it's working better for me. But the thing that's convinced me that's basically I always liked the Arachno thing from Age of Sigma, where they have
Yep.
the spider thing, and we often see the conversions with that.
Yep.
And I always liked that look, so I also naturally like that look here as well. So. It's for me. It's just a matter of converting a slightly different cannon on top, and then the model is perfect for me.
Hey,
Also,
listen, you don't want those guns. I will happily take those guns off your hands because I want 1,000 of the quote unquote Biovore cannon, the one that looks more like a Pyrovore cannon. I love that thing. I want it on
and
everything.
there's also one more change I would do, and
Yeah.
that's the legs. I would at the first segment, I would cut them off and make them put in a joint there, so you have the front spike more like a
Oh,
throw, and
oh.
you have it would lower the model a little bit, but you would have its walk not on knives, but you still would have the knives. It could then basically still have this shape right
Oh,
now,
it would
but
walk on the knuckles?
yeah, it would if
Smart.
you
I
put
like
a
that.
joint right here. I
Yeah.
don't know if you see my
The
mouse.
knife folds down under, kind
Yep.
of.
And it's folds the front spike folds up like in vertically, and you have it sits right a little lower, but you would be having best of both worlds in my opinion, and it
I like that.
would give it a more spider-like look.
We on the Creature Conference have been on record as not loving knife walkers, and people have called me on that when I said how much I love these. They're like, but they're knife walkers. Why do you love them? I'm like, yeah, okay, good point. You love them. That's a good solution, Kajan. Thanks. Will, Biovore Pyrovore, tell me some things.
I like that it's a complete revamp. I like the general body of it. I agree with Kajan that the guns do look kind of tacked on. Although the first instance that they posted it, showed a picture, the first thing I did was laugh. I'm like, oh god, it's Mr. Pink's gun beasts.
You think so?
Well, like the immediate, like just having the kind of gun on the back of like a
Yeah, but I
chunkier
like the
gun.
Exocrine's got that.
Oh,
Like the Biovore's
it's
had that forever. I stole it from Games Workshop art.
yeah, but it kind of I like the update, and this is just a complete revamp. So it's not, I think it's nice to not have to deal with the like, well, they just sort of made like a bigger version of what they had before.
Yeah, they just
That
like
said,
Eldar Guardian did or something.
yeah, that said, I'm fully agreeing with Kajan that the guns look kind of tacked on. I have some ideas of what I want to do with this, because Lord knows I've been trying to like do a rejiggering of like the Biovore look for ages, and I like the way that they designed the head is actually a little bit similar to some ideas that I've been having with like basically
Nice.
this head that just is tucked in inside of its shell, like barely
Yep.
sticking out. That's it.
Yep.
I still don't like the like I've never really liked the Tyrannid designs with where it's like too insect like for the legs.
Yep.
I maintain the hoofed leg purity, so to speak.
Okay.
But like overall, I think that the direction that they went, especially with the tail of this pyrovore, I like the general direction. I just think it needs a little editing, but nothing a bit of X-Acto blade chopping up won't solve.
Okay, so am I putting you down for also sending me your cannons because you don't like them?
Oh, I'll probably use them for something
Oh, you
else.
bastard. You bastard. They are very nice guns. Okay, I don't need to go into it. I love both these things. They're amazing. I like the upper cannon more than this one. This possibly Biovore bulky thing. I don't love this one as much. I think it could be modified. I think it could benefit from a better barrel. But I love the other one to death. I want several copies of the other one so that I can just put it on a bunch of things. I want a Carnifex wielding it. I want a Hive Tyrant wielding it. Like, it's just such a good gun. Yeah, that one on the left. Oh man, it's. Can you click on it, Kajan? Oh, beauty. Got some barrel detail in there. Wide open barrel. Look at those carapace plates on top. The weird sticky out carapace at the back. I don't know. Also, you're right, not integrated very well. That can be fixed. But I also really love the scorpion tail on the other one. So yeah, these are just great all day. I love them. I love them to
I
bits.
mean, I like the cannons itself. I'm just not a fan of the cannons on those things.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Damn, so I can't steal your cannons. Oh well.
No,
Glad
we'll
you came
see.
around to them. Glad you came around to them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I want a bunch of these. Like, I was even thinking about taking the bodies of them and converting them into Tyrant Guard or something like that. I was talking to someone. They're like, could you use these as like alternate Raveners? I'm like, oh man, now we're going down rabbit holes. They're just so cool.
Yeah, chat is also liking the guns.
Nice.
Era said shout out to how freaking cool these guns are, and Games Workshop for jumping to the Insectoid wars.
Yep.
Wars. Eric Olsen said guns remind me of the huge cannons from Virtual Gundam in Gundam 00. Era
I don't know
said,
that, but okay.
I know
Eric, send me a picture of that, eh? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I know what he was referring to. Era said, personally think that the guns actually need a targeting parasite, and I can agree with that.
Ooh!
Yeah. Like
High
that.
Fleet Malak would be happy to hear that. High Fleet Malak is famously into targeting parasites. That would be cool.
And Eric Odin said it's the two-tone color. That's probably in
A
reference
Gundam comment, yeah.
Tom Wilson said, I'd say use whichever one you think looks coolest and call it what you want.
Agreed, Tom. Agreed. I'm right there with
Yeah.
you. Don't let Games Workshop tell you how to play with your toys. People are not going to know. People who don't play Tyranids, and if you're playing against someone, they're going to be like, what is that? Is that a Pyrovore? Is that a Biovore? You're going to be like, hey, see these Spore Mines? It's a Biovore.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going to end up.
No one's going to know. No, people don't know Tyranids already. Like, they're like, what the heck is that? Like, oh, that's a Lictor. You could tell them that a Ravener is a Lictor. They're probably like, okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah, Eric Olsen chimed in about the targeting parasite with targeting squid.
Cute. See, the thing with targeting parasites, almost like, should it be like levitating over the creature? I don't know.
I prefer to have it attached to the creature.
Yeah.
At least when we're talking about parasites, it should be like symbionts.
Well, it could be like, there could be like a tentacle reaching up into the sky, this like floaty ball thing.
Yeah.
But then it just looks like it's carrying a balloon. I don't know.
True. Era said, I think that if we are the rear side of the wars, if we see the rear side of the wars, we might find the whole abdomen actually is coming up and around.
The
that
way the
would
guns
make-
attacked or whatever.
I disagree with that. I think when you look at this one, you can see how the tail is bending down.
Yeah, there's a little bit of it there. It's hard to see, but you're right. There is a little bit of it there.
So I think the only cradling one is the scorpion. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to them.
I really like that cradling one.
Tom Wilson said, I like the tentacles on the spore mines, but the heads need changing, and I'm not
Yes, agreed.
And I'm totally not a fan of the spore mines. They look worse than the spore mines we have right now.
Yep.
And that's a feat. That's definitely
that's saying
a feat.
something. Yeah.
But as I'm personally have tried my hand at spore mines to make them look more. Yeah, it was one of the first things I posted. If you might remember the one
I think I remember that.
Yeah, the
The challenge with sculpting spore mines is they're so small. Like there's no shortage of like weird gribbly near tyrannid bits that you could like turn into them. Like use like adrenal glands or something like that. It's just that you gotta get them good at a small size, which can sometimes be challenging.
yeah, and I sculpted mine to look like jellyfish.
Yep.
And because I like the idea to have them float by moving like a jellyfish in air.
Yes, I like that.
And I also think when they are more like jellyfish, they will also be able to be shot through a barrel.
Oh yeah, because they're like softer.
Yeah, if everything is soft and they get shot through a barrel and then just fill with explosive gas on their own once they are deployed, I think
Yep.
that's making more sense of an anatomic from an anatomic point of view. But anyway,
Yeah.
Eric Odinson said, "Walk on knuckles like the Tyrant Guard." That's cool. In reference to the
Yep. Yep.
my suggestion. I liked. He continues with, "I like the new models. Don't just make tiny exo the way the old model was. Make tiny
Okay.
exo." Not quite
I'll get
following
that.
that comment.
Yep. That's fine.
Tyler Blevins said, "I don't think people outside of NIT players know the difference between Biowar and Pyrowar.
No.
So I guess it's just cooler looking thing to be consistent in the rules."
And like to be honest, there's probably Space Marines that we have no idea what, like Space Marine Ancient. Does anyone know what a Space Marine Ancient is? They've been talking about this. They're like, oh my god, we're gonna get a Space Marine Ancient. I'm like, what is that? I asked my brother. He's like, oh yeah, it's just a dude with a banner. I'm like, then why is it called an Ancient? Okay, whatever.
Okay, I thought when you said that, I just had a dreadnought in my head.
Exactly.
Like a
That's what
highly
you would think.
ornamented dreadnought.
That's what I thought too. I'm like, oh yeah, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, that's a venerable dreadnought. I don't friggin' know. So if we can't keep Space Marines straight, we can't expect Space Marine players to keep Tyranids straight. Which means use whatever cannon you want. No one cares.
Yeah, and if we're entirely honest, I don't think that's a good pyro war. But that's, I mean, I like the model. I just don't think it's a pyro war.
Yeah.
But anyway,
let's move on. We're getting
yeah.
long in the tooth. We haven't even gotten to the big boy yet. Maybe we just move on to the Norns? One more comment, we'll move on to the Norns?
Okay. Era said, yeah, Barrow thingy looks like it's added on and holding itself there. I thought the tail was a leg. Yeah, probably the tiny tail we just talked about.
Yep. Yep.
Then we are going to move on in the sake of time. Sorry for those I didn't read.
That's fine. Yeah.
And we are getting to Big Mama. So
Big Mama, otherwise known as the Norn Emissary / Assimilator. Let's do these 2 for 1. Who's going first? I can't even remember.
Well,
Kajan's first this time.
Okay.
Kajan? Talk about them both together.
Oh.
I'm really a fan of it. As I said in the Discord, I think it's going to be big, based on the fact that I'm seeing a bolt gun over here, so I'm expecting it to be Damacaron size at least.
Yep. Yep, I think that's a good guess.
Okay, we probably don't quite get knight size, but it's going to be the biggest model we have.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm not a fan of the exposed brains again. I don't know why they keep doing that, but fine.
So you know it's psychic. Look, it's psychic. Look at how much brain it has.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my, what a big brain you have. All the better to think you with.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really goofy if you look at over here in this picture. I'm not a fan of on how long the head
Yeah.
is, and
Yeah.
it's looking really strange and fine. Never mind. A lot of things can be fixed in this model,
Yeah.
but I don't want to knock it too much. I really like it. I'm not a fan of this head. I don't like this
It's pretty much
edge
Tyrant Head,
plate.
eh?
When I look at it like that, the thing that reminds me right away is Man in Black, the uh, Edgar, when he
Oh
is
god, why did you tell me that? I can't unsee it now. You
sorry.
jerk. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm sorry. I can't. I saw it and I couldn't
You're
unsee
so
it.
right. You're so right. Well, now you get to share your pain. Thank you.
I'm so sorry, people. But yeah, non-emissary. I'm not a fan of the back of the head. I'm not a fan of the blades. I'm happily going on record. I'm not a fan of the head blades because they are blade catches, and other than
Oh, the
that,
things on the other side of the mouth?
no, the one, the big blade, the horn on
Oh, the
top.
like horn thing. Okay.
Yeah, the horn that looks like it's a bone blade. I'm
Yep.
not a fan of those because they are blade catchers. When it's fencing with anything, you basically have the whatever the fence. I mean, I always imagine they fight with something with a power sword or something like that. The power
Yeah.
sword would basically move down and cut right into the brain. So to me,
Doesn't
yeah,
make a lot of sense.
yeah. So I'm not a fan of those, but other than that, I like both models, and that's me being done.
Sweet. Will, what are you saying?
Honestly, I think of the releases, this one was the one for, they saved the biggest for last. I thought was kind of the most lackluster of them. Like, it's fine.
Agreed.
It's fine. It looks like a big tyrant that they, just embiggened. I think, I think I'm with Kajan that weirdly the emissary head just isn't doing it for me. I don't know what it is. Like, I mean, if you look at that picture with like from its side where you see the neck seems like the proportions just seem awkward. It feels weird
Yeah.
to me that to me the assimilator for having the clearly more boring although now I'm not gonna unsee the whole Ed from Men in Black thing either. The kind of more boring termagant head. Like it's
Yeah.
fine. At least it's a nice big monster, so it'll be fun to play around with. Those
Yeah.
big bio claw things should be pretty neat.
Yeah, I feel the same with you. A little lackluster on this, especially because it was saved to last. It does look like an embiggened Hive Tyrant. I would like when it comes to Tyranid Kaiju, I picture them being a little more than just a giant Hive Tyrant. But yeah, I'm glad for it as a bits box. That I think there's some cool bits in here. I think that head can be used for a Doom of Malantai. Take it off this, put it on something Doom of Malantai. I don't like the Edgar head just because it looked like a big Gaunt or Hive Tyrant head. But I do love those like weird harpoon hand things that it's got. I think they're damn cool. I love the scything talons on the Norm Emissary. They're so weird and gribbly. Like, especially because the other one has these boring scything talons, but like the Emissary ones, they're not quite grasping claws, but there's something between grasping claws and scything talons. I think they're great. Very interesting. The angle on them. Like, they've done all these new scything talons for Tyranids, and I haven't been a super fan of them. But like, this is the first set of the new scything talons where I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling you. I'm feeling what you're putting down here. And then basically I think it's a bits box. Cool. The only thing I'll say is that the legs seem completely uninspired. The tail seems like a little bit inspired, but the legs just seem like, and we're gonna slap some legs on here. They're not interesting. They're not different. Like, they got big chunky big chunky hooves. They don't sell the like stalking sneaky assassin thing for me, but I do really like the huge chimneys. I think those are gonna be cool bits to use for other stuff. I'm gonna modify. I'm probably gonna get an assimilator, but I'm gonna, or sorry, emissary, but I'm gonna modify it to look more like a lictor because it's supposed to be sneaky. And then, yeah. So I'm interested to like convert this and play with it because of the bits, but in the way they've got it now, the Norn emissary has too much going on. The assimilator, I almost like it because it has less going on. It doesn't feel as overwrought, but it does feel like a giant hive tyrant.
Yep.
Like, and the way they described it, described it like going in and like taking out tanks. It sounded like it should be more of a giant Carnifex, but I guess Carnifex is also kind of that profile. I don't know.
I so don't see them taking out tanks.
It's because it's not arranged properly. I want it to be more like a pictured as more of a Tyrannosaurus Rex profile, where it's like big and heavy in the front and like leaning forward, and kind of like the head is in line with the tail. I think it could work better as like a tank buster.
Yeah, and the claws look really puny to.
Yes,
bust.
those scything talents are super puny. What's the deal?
I mean, either they should be more stabby, more pointy and stabby, or they should be.
Yeah,
I'm
like
not-
ramming. Like picture them as like rams, like bone rams.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I don't really get the can opener wipe from from the assimilator.
Yeah.
And I like for example the old Stone Crusher Carnifex with the
Yeah.
big protrusions. Those looked like they're made
This,
to charge
yes.
into something and really demolish it.
This should be the Stone Crusher, the heir of the Stone Crusher legacy. Should be the Norn assimilator, but this model is not selling it. So I feel like if I were to convert a Norn assimilator, I'd want it to be like the heir to the Stone Crusher. Bringing it full circle back to that big red dragon thing I'm working on for DarthBob, and everyone thinking it's a Stone Crusher. Let's make this the new Stone Crusher. Okay, cool. What's the chat saying? Chat, what do you think about the assimilator and the emissary?
Yeah, Drovenesh said, I don't like the Norn, but I like the crown motif.
The crown motif?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it a little bit from the front when I look at it like that.
Yeah.
I'm getting hammerhead vibes from it with the.
Which is like, that's the one thing. Like, we keep saying that we want Games Workshop to make different heads for Tyranids that aren't Gaunt heads. That is not a Gaunt head. The Norn assimilator head wins. Like, lose all the brain stuff. It wins because it's not a Gaunt head for me.
I like everything, but when I look at it, if you shorten the back half, like you cut it off here, and you remove the blade, and it's a perfect head to me. That would be like that's what I would want my Hive Tyrant to look like. Or Swarm
that'd be a good
Tyrant.
change. Nice. I like that.
Yeah. I like the head. I like the heads. I mean, okay, I said I see Edgar, but I like that it's new.
Yeah, you like the heads. You want to make sure no one else would like the heads. Thanks for that.
I mean, it's something new. I don't fault them for doing something new. So
yeah, that's what we wanted. That's what we got. Awesome.
I don't want to discourage Games Workshop from trying new things, even if this one doesn't work for me. But I like
I'm really glad they tried
tried
something new.
Yeah,
Agreed.
That's what I like. So I don't want to diss on them. Anyway, chat continues with Tyler Blevins. Is that Norns are like 6 out of 10 for me. I like the vents turning into giant fins. Makes me think it's terraforming the planet as a tertiary room.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good point.
I would like the chimneys more if they would be pointing backwards instead of up.
Easy change.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
things, a lot of this model, I think, is worth changing.
Yeah.
I
Agreed.
definitely want this model, and I will do changes to it. But
Cool.
I'm
Okay.
not a fan of the way the
Stock.
smokestacks go up.
Yeah.
Everything. Anyway, that's
Yeah,
not
it's like it makes like these lines are supposed to be pointing. I've talked about this before about like Tyranid design. Like the lines are supposed to be like pointing forward, like scything talons and all that. It's like aggressive. It's coming towards you, but why would you have like a right angle kind of standing up from the back? Like they should be like angled backwards to keep that like kind of momentum arrow shape.
It's especially if you look at it from a military perspective, you're increasing the profile of the creature,
Yeah,
making it
more to
harder
shoot.
to hide. I
Yeah, the
mean,
sneaky lictor thing.
I mean, I don't. I'm not saying you should be that Tyranids are laying in hiding and waiting for the enemy, but these creatures have to take cover somewhere. If you have this
Yeah,
big creature coming through the horde, I mean, every gun is going to point at the biggest thing in the horde.
yeah.
Uh,
Shoot the big
you
ones.
yeah, you want to have the option for this thing to go low and be unnoticed until the moment it springs up and then devours something and is right
Yeah,
in the middle.
agreed.
The- and for me, that means the ability to have a low profile. And
Yeah, agreed.
anyway, Tom Wilson said, I feel like someone sculpted a new Hive Tyrant and someone higher up didn't want to retire the Tyrant kit yet, so slapped on a new name.
Oh, that's a good
And
one. I like it.
I see that. The non emissary definitely reads Swarm Tyrant for me when I first
Yes,
saw it.
yeah, like Swarmlord. This is your Swarmlord. Everyone's like, I want an Alpha Swarmlord. I want to do a stream where we talk about like we go through the Tyranid rumors that came out and how they might align with the actual models that came out. Like maybe someone saw these models and didn't know what they were, misidentified them. This was misidentified as an Alpha Swarmlord, no question.
Yeah, I fully agree
Yeah,
with that.
yeah.
Robin
Or
said,
described as an Alpha Swordlord or whatever, like someone trying to describe it. Like picture like an Alpha Swarmlord. That's this, I guess. Yeah, Dwarfinish, go ahead.
Robin said he likes the base.
The base is really cool. I like the base. I'm all for more weird Tyranid scenery, like in bases.
Yeah,
Let's get more Tyranid scenery in general, but until then, I will
yeah.
be good with bases.
For especially because it gives me an idea what Tyrannophyte planet looks like.
Exactly. I love it.
This far, it's always just the spires, and I mean spires are
Yes.
nice, but this gives me a little bit more ideas what a Tyranid infestation looks like. Because
Yeah.
it's not just our big creatures roaming the landscape, it's bacteria putting the entire biosphere into overdrive and mutating everything
Yeah.
to
Agreed.
maximum output. And I
Agreed.
want more of that.
Okay. Will, you got anything else you wanted to add? Should we start wrapping this up? Because it's really late.
Yeah. No, pretty much nothing else to add. I mean, I'll get one of these things, but yeah, my hobby blade will go through this thing. I have ideas. is what it comes
Okay.
out.
Dwarfinish, if you want to segue, you got to do it quick, buddy. Chuck it in the chat right now because we gotta tie this up. I didn't realize quite how late it was. Yeah, I'm gonna get one of these definitely as a bits box, one or two, but they will be heavily modified. The emissary will be modified to be more like a giant lictor. Flashback to my tyrant-sized lictor that I made. And I just realized it on this stream that the assimilator will be modified to be more Stone Crusher Carnifex. Because that's definitely the role that I feel like it should be playing. And in terms of work tonight, I got through a little bit of filler work on my my Von Rein's Leaper Neuro Guard. Where the hell is my camera? I sculpted a bunch of weird little brains coming out of the carapace, which is a zoanthrope carapace that I drilled some holes in. So that's just meant to look like it's one giant brain under there, protecting the hive tyrant. I also did some filler work. And did some more filler work on the other one. I don't think I did anything exciting on this guy. Yeah, I just filled some details on his groinular area. But then I also filled in the gaps on my converted barb gaunt, which looks more like the old school Biovore. Oh man, I missed a part. I need to green stuff. Damn, I thought this guy was almost done, but I need to green stuff one little bit that I'll probably forget about. But my green stuff is starting to go hard, so I'm done for the night. How about you guys? Will, did you get much done?
Yeah, I did a lot of little spot green stuff work on a couple of different projects. Now I'm trying to do the thing where I don't touch things that
Yes.
I've worked
The
on.
most important tip. If you're happy with something you're sculpting, stop sculpting, because you'll destroy it otherwise. Shove your finger in it and ruin it. Kajan, I'm sorry that you weren't able to work on stuff. Thank you so much for running the stream. I really appreciate it. Thank you both for sharing your thoughts on all these brand new shiny Tyranids. As much as we like give notes on these kind of things, this is amazing. This is an amazing time to be a Tyranid player. I cannot believe that we're getting this many new models. I posted a list. It's something like 17 or 18 new sculpts, like new individual creatures that we've already seen. And I honestly believe that this is just like a first wave for Tyranids. Like Vanguard Swarm, huh? That's the initial wave, right? I honestly believe that there's going to be subsequent waves. And this is already so cool. So it kind of lends credence to that weird rumor that we heard, somebody talking on a plane to someone from Games Workshop, where they were like, oh, they told the studio to go nuts and just make a ton of stuff. And we haven't even seen like half of it. I want that to be true. I want it to be true so bad. But it's just a question of how long we're going to have to wait for the next wave. I'm hoping there's a second wave in like early to mid 2024. Because this preview, they said, this is all the Tyranid releases for the rest of the year. So this will take us through to the end of 2023, which is a good amount of stuff to take us through. I hope there's a little more in the new year, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm starting to become a believer of the range refresh.
I was gonna say, Kajan, you were Mr. Pessimistic on the range refresh. How are you feeling now?
Yeah, I mean we are almost there. So we're missing the
it's happening,
warrior.
buddy.
We are missing the warriors, and maybe Flynn still gets his strikes.
Don't give
we
him
gotta
hope.
get the strikes.
I
don't want to give Flynn any hope, but we gotta get strikes. We can't have a winged Tyranid Prime and no strikes. That makes no sense.
Yeah, that's why I think we will be seeing updated warrior kit, because we have that one model with wings. So I'm definitely expecting to see the warriors at least. And
well, I hope you're right.
And maybe we also will be seeing a Tyrant Guard.
Whoa, that would be weird.
That'd be dope.
I never considered that, but that is a crusty kit.
I mean, since they're scaling everything up, I mean, the Tyrant Guard is going to look really puny next to some of those models. And if they're retaining their ability to shield things and maybe shield more than just the Hive Tyrant, I think they need to get bigger.
That would be cool. All right, cool. I think we're gonna have to call it there because it is very late. Thank you all for joining in the chat. Thank you all for sharing your own thoughts about these Tyranids. Like I said, we're gonna be doing a Creature Conference stream in a week and a half, not this Friday, but next Friday. On that stream, I'll be chatting with High Fleet Moloch and with Hydra about the new Tyranids, although we heard a bit from Moloch in the stream on the weekend. We haven't heard anything from Hydra, so I'm really keen to hear what he has to think about him. So we'll see what else we can talk about then. But yeah, look forward to that in a week and a half. If you're watching this as a recording, please make sure you like and subscribe, because we do Work in Progress Wednesdays every 2 weeks, and then on the alternate weeks we do a Creature Conference on the Fridays. And yeah, make sure you subscribe so you can get my future videos that come out. I owe everyone a How to Sculpt Tyranids Part 2 on Vents. It's mostly filmed. I just got to film a little bit to go at the end. and then get that out. So you can look forward to that soon. And yeah. Oh yeah. Also, thank you, Kajan. I don't know if I have it here, but I made some funky stickers to celebrate what is oh wait. Am I gonna I'll probably break everything if I go and get it. I made some hot Tyranid summer stickers to celebrate the fact that we are in the middle of a hot Tyranid summer. Let's see if I can pull them up here. And they are going out to everyone who is one of my patrons on Patreon. Kajan, would you be able to put the link in the chat? There we go. Oh, wow. Of course, it's huge. So I worked with someone on Instagram to make these stickers. They're flying off the shelves. Like, I gave away my whole first batch. I had to order a second batch. And I got to say that there's a bunch of very kind people who became my patrons recently. So thank you all for becoming my new patrons. I will be getting your stickers in the mail when I get them in early August. But yeah, this is the design. I'm really happy with it. It's 2 Leviathan Tyranids just getting ready for a hot bug summer. And just wanted to make them because I'm just so excited about how many Tyranids are coming out right now. All the cool conversions that everyone's doing. This isn't just about Games Workshop releasing new Tyranids. That's not what makes a hot bug summer. What makes a hot bug summer is all of you guys getting your Leviathan boxes, cracking them open, and making amazing things like new old One-Eyes or Psycho Killers. This is damn cool. So I'm really happy about this, and I want you to be happy about it too, and I want you to join the celebration. So if you sponsor me on Patreon, you don't have to give more than $1. I'll send you one of these stickers. It costs me $5 to print them and ship them out to you. So yeah, you could come on for a month, give $1, cancel, you'll still get a sticker. If you stick around for a little longer, I appreciate it. This makes everything easier. It makes it easier for me to make weird videos and more stickers. So yeah, thanks for mentioning it, Kajan. And the link is in the chat. All right, and with that, I think it's time to wrap things up. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Kajan and Will, for being the co-hosts on here. Sorry that DarthBob couldn't make it. Oh, Will's got his Hot Bug Summer sticker out, although I don't have your video up on screen. Thanks, man. Here, I can pull it up on screen. Look, they exist in the wild. Although the new ones, I think, are going to be different. I didn't know how popular they were going to be at first, so I printed them like square. But the new ones are going to be like kiss cut or whatever the heck it's called, where they're cut to the outline. So yeah, you can look forward to that. Yes, thank you everyone. Hope you had a great time, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.